I'm going to explain about the modifications that I made on this 3D printer control board. It is GT2560 from GTech, and it uses 80 mega 2560 microcontroller. So as you can see, I added two N-channel MOSFET to the board and connected the gate pin directly to the PWM pins of the microcontrollers with a resistor between gate and source actually, in order to have two more PWM fan connectors to control the cooling fans on stepper motors drivers and on power supply. And also I added one more thermistor input here, connected to one of the ADC pins of the microcontroller with this resistor and capacitor here, in order to read the temperature of the driver boards with this NTC, which with the PID controller we can control the RPM of the fan and keep the temperature of power supply and driver boards fixed to 50, which is amazing. Also, I separated the 5-volt line of the board from the 24-volt input power, because as this power goes to the bed and hot end by turning on and off the MOSFETs, the power of the bed and hot end, it will fluctuate actually the voltage of the power supply, which affects the 5-volt here, while we have a buck converter here, but it still affects that. So I separated that with this connector and pulling off this diode here, and so the 5-volt either will will provided by a separated power supply or by connecting this jumper from the USB connector, and that doesn't actually sink a lot of current with just about 100 milliamperes, which can be provided by USB connector. So, and here for the sensorless homing, I connected the diag 0 of the driver boards to the unused control pins of the 5th driver that we don't use. And also here I connected the USART3 peripheral of the microcontroller and one positive pole and negative volt 5-volt to this 3.3 volt to this connector, in order to be able to connect a wire Wi-Fi module to this board. And what else? This phase, nothing. And here behind the board I disconnected the center pin of these fan connectors from the negative pole of the power lines and connected with these two wires to the MOSFETs. And for controlling and configuring and monitoring the drivers, which are TMC 31 TMC 2130, I connected these I2C pins of the microcontrollers to all I2C pins of the drivers, and also I provided the CS pin of the control boards with these wires connected to the end stop pins of the board, which we don't need anymore to them. And here I added this capacitor and resistor to the probe pin, which is the Z-Max pin. And also I added this heatsink, which is bigger than the normal heatsink because I used a better bed which needs more power. So yeah, that's it. And with these modifications that I made on this board, we have now a lot of more facilities and function enabled on this board with the Klipper firmware.